What's going on, everyone? It's Butch from Fitness Psychology. With this video today, I'm going to talk about what are some bad eating habits that you need to eliminate from your life right now. So guys, before I get into it, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the thumbs up and hit the bell notification so you guys can get notified of when more videos come out for Fitness Psychology. All right, so bad eating habits. I have them, you have them. Now, the goal here is to, you have to eliminate some of these bad habits, or you have to really reduce them to a minimum, because what happens when you have some bad eating habits? I'm going to go over what those bad eating habits are, but I'm going to tell you why it's important to eliminate these, because they lead to a series of health consequences for yourself, not only just for your body, but for your mind. The first one's a no-brainer, but that it leads to weight gain, right? When you have bad nutritional choices, when you eat just bad food, sugary food, processed food, what tends to happen is you just gain weight because they have an excess amount of calories added to them. So you times that by how many times you're eating these foods a day, maybe per week, you're going to gain some weight from that. And we obviously know what happens with weight gain. There's a lot of health issues that come with it. You're going to feel lethargic. You're not going to feel motivated. So you really have to be wary of what you're actually eating that's leading to your weight gain. Another thing, what happens with some bad habits is actually what happens when you eat bad food, right? It leads to a lot of inflammation. And inflammation is very interesting because what it does, it causes a lot of issues just within your body. So it's a chronic inflammation that tends to build up if you keep eating these processed foods in your body. So eventually what's going to happen, you'll feel lethargic, you'll feel tired, and that can ultimately just affect your mood as well. Let's say when you are binging, what tends to happen is you have a severe energy spike, and then what happens with that is, since you do have a spike, you're actually going to crash down. And then when you crash, you become tired. But when you become tired, sometimes you eat something to gain some more energy, and it's just an endless cycle. It's an endless loop. It's an endless habit. So you have to be aware of what habits are you actually doing and what is the cause of them. When you keep up with some bad nutritional choices in eating, and that can lead to stress. And then what happens? You stress eat. And that's an endless cycle. So the habit just continues there. So that's why you have to be aware of what triggers are causing you to overeat, to eat sugary foods, to eat fatty foods, whatever the case is. You need to catch yourself before it actually happens. You need to catch that trigger so you can prevent, or at least really keep it to a minimum, these types of habits that you are doing on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, maybe yearly basis, and that has to stop. First bad habit I want to talk about is eating processed food. When you go to the store and you're buying food, if you look on the back of the box or whatever the package is and you can't read like 20 of the words there, that's processed, and that's processed way too much, because what's going to end up happening is that's going to lead to inflammation, and I guarantee that has a lot of calories in it also. So you want to keep the processed food eliminated. They usually say you want to eat with foods that have ingredients around between 5 to 7 ingredients. Basically, the less ingredients a product has, food, the better you'll be. Second one, sugar. I love sugar. I love ice cream. I love chocolate. I do have a sweet tooth. I'm not going to lie there. But I don't eat that stuff every day. I don't eat it every weekend. So you have to realize that, and sugar too, that's a very addictive chemical that it gives off. That dopamine just really fires off. So you have to learn to combat that. So for example, with sugar, and sugar leads, by the way, to a lot of inflammation. It's very, very bad to you, and sugar can also lead to weight gain because what's not burned off essentially just is stored into fat. Now, with sugar though, I just like to eat berries. I just eat a bunch of blueberries almost every day because that helps with my craving. And one, it's actually a healthier choice because it has so many vitamins and minerals and antioxidants included with them. So if you do have a sweet tooth like I do, try to eat something that's a little bit better for you. Fruits, berries, bananas, apples, pineapples. The list goes on. Third one I want to talk about is binging. We tend to binge when there is some sort of stress going on within your life, or there's just a long period of where you're just not eating. So usually what tends with the weekend is that people like to go just like buck wild and just binge all day long. Well, how about you just keep that to a minimum, maybe for like a certain time frame. At night, maybe you can go crazy, because look, with fitness psychology, I want to be real here. I want you to enjoy food. Like I said, I love Chipotle. I love mac and cheese, pizza, burgers, you name it, ranch. But if you have these habits and they're consistent and they're ongoing, you have to really bring them down to the minimum. You owe it to yourself. Now, with binging, you have to be careful, because when you fast, potentially what happens, you just get so hungry that you eat everything in sight. So you have to be aware of what's happening to your mind when you're ready to binge, and how you're gonna feel after. Always ask how you're gonna feel after when you just consume like 10 burgers. Fourth thing I wanna talk about is you justify having bad food. This one is, oh man, this is a pet peeve of mine. You justify having a bad meal. So you have a bad meal, right? And then it's like, okay, maybe you had a bad meal on Friday. Well, I'm gonna have a bad meal on Saturday. I'm gonna have a bad meal on maybe Sunday. And then I'll start on Monday. But then you ate so much crap and garbage on those 3-4 days, you're gonna have less discipline available to you, less willpower, and then you're probably just gonna go ahead and back and eat some sugary food. But even look at this, so you justify having, you're gonna start on Monday, but then what happens when Wednesday or Thursday comes around? You're just gonna eat the garbage and crap that you ate the previous week. So stop justifying having a bad meal and putting it off and that you're gonna start on Monday. You can start any day of the week on cleaning up your diet. It's just these micro changes that you have to start to implement to become healthier. So guys, those are some bad eating habits that I really want you to just think about for a second. If you had to pick, which one is probably the biggest or the worst eating habit that you're doing right now? I'll be honest with you, probably for me, it would be the binging aspect. But if I am going, and that's usually from a fast. So if I'm fasting, for example, like on the weekend, before I have like a big meal, I just eat like a crap load of like veggies. And that really helps reduce the basically what I'm eating on the caloric point of view of like bad food. So let me know, guys, in the description below in the comments, what kind of bad food habits that you have. Is there anything I missed? Is there anything you want me to touch upon? Now, with the next video, I'm going to talk about how can we eliminate some of these bad eating habits and just contribute to making better ones. So guys, thank you again, and don't forget to subscribe.